Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. We continue with our discussion on this transforming generation for us as an ummah to excel and become an awesome ummah, an ummah that is respected, an ummah that can help to make this world a better world so that we all can live in peace, happiness and success. So the last video I explained about nurturing hope to our own transforming new generation and how as an ummah we rapidly become the civilization of the world for more than 800 years, and now we are down in the rut, but we have to have a new generation of transforming generation who transcend fear and then live in hope. So we're nurturing hope through our own transforming generation. And today I'm going to talk about nurturing love, because this is the key of how we are going to come up and become an ummah of excellence, an ummah of achievers, an awesome ummah that will help make this world a better world. And if we go back to our history, we go back to our old history, Hujjatul Islam, Al-Imam Ghazali, I'll just like to quote his Ihya Ulumuddin. He has his book, and this is from the book of constructive virtue, and in his content of the book he talk about the first and foremost thing, he talk about love and attachment. So we have a love and attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says in his preamble, "Know, O dear readers, that the love of Allah is the last stage and the highest in rank. There is no higher stage after acquisition of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before it, there are stages of repentance, patience, and renunciation. These are preliminaries to the love of Allah." And in the various chapter, he bring about in great detail how we can excel by having the love of Allah as a focus in our life, as our attachment, and how we can then become a great person in this world and the hereafter with the mercy, grace, blessing, and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is important is that for this new generation, when we talk about nurturing love, there are certain qualities of love that we have to instill in our young people. So I'm just going to give you a few ideas for us to just think about it. If we say we have love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means we have belief, and that we have a way of life that is consonant with love. So if we look at the ummah today, are we living in love? Are the ummah living in love? Or are the ummah living in hate or self-destruction? Or are we an ummah that is petty, talking about khilafiyah, talking about, whether you put your hand this way or this way or this way? It is all boils down to our frame of mind and how we nurture the inner qualities, the inner knowing of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to move from the negative. We have, for example, positive and negative. Alright. So we talk about the highest form of positivity and possibility. That is, we talk about love. Alright, literally the opposite is hate. So we have to have ourselves, is this ummah now moving in this direction, that is from love to hate, or are we trying to move from hate to love? If we look at the current situation of our ummah, we are living in hate. And we have to acknowledge that before we try to change the world, let us change ourselves. That's why in this book, Positive Islamic Psychology, I'm trying to do an islah within the ummah. That means we try to pass the message of peace, happiness and success for the ummah, and along the way we bring the whole world, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims, towards this same path that we are seeking. But our starting point is negative. We see hate everywhere in the Muslim world. Let us be frank. We need not hide behind beautiful words and so on. You see the hatred is so deep in so many people who call themselves Muslims, and they are willing to kill each other. If we look at the situation in Yemen today, we look at the situation in Syria today, we look at the situation in the Middle East, we can see that this whole idea of the political ideals and political ideas are based on hate. That is not Islam. That could be nationalism, could be tribalism, it could be Arabism, it could be Iranianism, whatever it is. But we have to transcend hate before we can say and talk about love. So I hope the younger generation, we are more open-minded. Don't have a closed-minded, narrow view of Islam and a way of life. I mean, I have met people, very learned people. For example, we have our brothers, I met brothers from Saudi Arabia, who are very narrow. They could be very learned, all right? They know everything about Islam, but the moment, you know, for example, one brother took this book, and I have quotation from Sheikh Hussein Nas. He's a famous Muslim scholar in terms of the sacred sciences, as well as in terms of his well far ahead in terms of perennial philosophy and ecology and so on, because he's the one who wrote the book Man and Nature. I quoted some of the quote in this book, Positive Islamic Psychology. But what did that our brother from Saudi Arabia say? When he opened and see the bibliography, he says it's kafir. Imagine a person who is not even one of 1,000 the stature of Said Hussein Nas can call that great man a kafir just because he has some ideas which is not consonant with Wahhabism. So if we begin to teach this kind of hatred at that level, what about the younger generation? They will have a very narrow perspective, and they will call every single one whom they disagree a kafir. We are not to judge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be our judge. We are not to call somebody a kafir, because if we call somebody a kafir, Rasulullah says, it is most probably you are the kafir. So we have to move from hate to love, and this is a very, very difficult task. But it is not hopeless, because I say in the earlier we talk about hope. So this is the first key that we have to really muhasabah, murakabah, think about how we can bring all those people, all shades, all kind of usul. This usul, this deen is broad and beautiful for all times. So it is better for us to accept all those who say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Bring them, draw them, and have beautiful exchange of ideas. There's no reason why we should hate the Shia or the Shia should hate the Sunni. We can have discussion. And this problem of the Shia-Sunni divide has been going on for the last 12,000 years. We cannot solve that problem just by giving labels of kafir or murtad or whatever it is. That is not the way of Islam. So what is important is for us, for this new transforming generation, let's embrace everyone who says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and bring it to our fold. When we differ, we say, brother, we differ, and we hope that you will understand my perspective, and the other brother or sister will say, yes, I hope you understand my perspective, and we give a good heart, and we continue living in love. So we must transcend that, because all the advice in the world of our scholars and ulama and so on will be of no use if we continue living in hate. So I hope this short understanding will bring us closer to a united Muslim Ummah, because from love we can then generate unity. And the opposite is division. So again, we got to ask ourselves, are we moving from unity to division, getting worse and worse, or are we moving from division to unity? So our transforming generation then would be then, let us work on unity. Be the principal person, our guiding principle of developing unity. Developing unity. So when we do that, then we have our love for all our brothers and sisters in the Muslim Ummah, regarding of their color, shade, race, tribe, culture, even their practices of Islam, because this usul is very, very great. Let Allah be our judge. We bring in unity among all of us in this Ummah and all human beings, because if we want to change this world, we have to have unity of all humanity. And unity of all humanity cannot be that all of them must be Muslims. No. Allah has ordained in His Lawh Mahfuz that until the last day, there will be atheists, there will be Christians, there will be Jews, there will be Hindus, there will be Buddhists, there will be people agnostic, whatever it is. There will be people like that. But we can all embrace them as what? Unity as Bani Adam. We all can embrace, because we are the family of Adam. We are all human beings. We can embrace this wonderful life towards love, peace, happiness, and success. So there are many other factors, but these are the two factors, love and unity, and how we're going to move forward, that this younger generation will then use this as a basis of their life. So we come across any conflict, always try to avoid a conflict, bring back to the core value of Islam, the core value of Hujjatul Islam, Al-Imam Ghazali, the great scholar who brought this idea of love, and how deep this love can be, and how beautiful this life can be, that we are all abiding under the grace, mercy, and love of Allah, which is such a wonderful thing that will bring us closer and closer towards the goodness of this world, the goodness of the hereafter, and the fulfillment of our destiny as an ummah that is willed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change this world, to make it a better place, that will become an achiever in this world and the hereafter. And each and every Muslim child, this transformed generation, will be awesome human beings that can make this world a better world for all. Inshallah, remember our guiding principles. Be the Caliph of Allah on this earth. Strive every day to make ourselves good, to have others to be good, and make this world good, and be the best that we can in the good deeds for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for the sake of all